so no but have a five.
Now,
Yeah. Mm.
top again. I'm going to show them the record.
I can't think for. Okay. This video is going to be based on set and Venn diagram, right? So let me call it that way in some cases. Before we start, let's get a simple meaning of what set is, right? So here the idea is that, or the meaning of the set, let's forget the technical definition for some time, right? So we normally consider a set to be like, let's say a room. So everybody is familiar with a room, right? So for sure in a room here, people are within the room, right? So we have people inside the room. So let's say this is a very nice picture here. So this is my room here. So let's say we have human beings inside this room, maybe a table and a chair inside that room. So the idea of a set here is that a set is something that can contain so another thing, right? So a set is something that can contain another thing. Maybe it can be a box or maybe a basket or anything that you can put things inside, right? So that is what we are calling what a set in what in this case. Is that okay? So the plural form will be what? Set. So this is just what a set. That was just a simple definition of what a set here. Now if you have any question, make sure that you are commenting below, right? So comment and like, let's see how best we can do, or you can solve some of the question relating to etc. So our first question here is dealing with roles inequalities, right? So we are going to solve some questions relating to the inequality. So the inequality, those of us on the platform, you've already seen the question. So here comes the first question. So here's the first question. The first question says that. Let's have the first question in this case. Alongside, make sure that you are posting any questions that you have relating to the sex, so that we can easily answer those things, right, without wasting some time. We have like an hour to finish this thing. So here's the first question. Let me check my arrangement properly. Question number one, right? Question number one. I guess someone can give me the question so that I can see exactly. So let's see. Here's the first question. Okay. Oh, messed up my arrangement. Should have a proper arrangement. But before that, let me solve the question two, right? So when I get to the question one, then I'll let you know everything. So here's the question two. The question two says that we are giving y to be equal to the set of that should be -2 less than or equal to s, and then this is also going to be 5, right? This is what we are giving. Then we are also giving w to be something that goes like this: 1 less than x, and then less than 6. Okay, so these are the two things that we are giving, and then we want to illustrate this thing on the number line, right? So y union what union w. So this is just the meaning of a union. So the idea of a union is that maybe the English meaning of that is let's be together, right? So we are going to combine ourselves together. Is that okay? So the union. So the most important thing is for you to have the elements of these people here, and then you have the elements of these people before you can proceed, right? Okay, now the elements of this set here is going to be, now the key here is that you must know how to read these inequalities, right? So that is the most important thing. If you know how to read these things, you are free to go, right? So this is just less than or equal to, this is also less than or equal to. Right, so how do you get the members of these people here? So the way I prefer reading this thing is that I'll go for starting from this point, right? So here is what x greater than or equal to -2. Traditionally, the meaning of this thing here is or less than or equal to, right? Now, if I want to, let's make some disclaimer here. So let's say I have 2 less than 3, right? So reading from this side tells me that 2 is always less than or less than 3. Is that okay? What happens if I want to read from this side of this inequality here, right? So I want to start reading from the 3. So reading from the 3 is going to be 3 greater than 2, right? So greater than 2, which is correct. Is that okay? You cannot say that 3 is less than or less than 2 because the traditional name of this guy here is less than, which is not the case, right? So 3 can never be less than or less than 2. So what we are going to do here is that 3 is greater than. So what I'll do is that the side also is a very open wide. So this side here, right? So this portion here is always greater than. Is that okay? And then the pointed side here is what we are calling less than. Is that okay? So perfect. So reading from this side tells me that x is greater than or equal to or -2. So if you are greater than or equal to, so going back to the number lines, let's say numbers on the line, you have 0, 1, and then 2, and so on and so forth. Here is all -1, -2, and so on and so forth. Is that okay? So this is what we are having. Now, having this thing here, we have what 0, that is of course -1 is greater than 1, is less than 0, right? And the 0 is greater. If you are owing, you are also owing. If someone doesn't have any money, that person has the power over you, right? So here, if you are greater than what -2 or equal to -2, because of this inequality here, we are going to have a start from what -2, and then -1, then 0, 1, 2, and so on and so forth. But where are we going to end? We are going to end at what? Uh, 5, right? So because x is less than or equal to 5, so you are going to be less than or equal to 5, meaning that here we are going to end on what? On 5. Is that okay? So this is what our set. So this is the first set, right? So perfect. What about this guy? This guy is going to be, we have a that is the x here greater than or less than. So we are not saying, because the name of this traditional symbol here is less than, so you are going to say x is less than what? Less than 1, right? So this is 1, right? So x is less than 1, which is not the case. So x is greater than what? Greater than greater than 1, right? Okay, so perfect. Now we have this guy here, so we are going to have here is going to be from what? From what? From 2, right? So you have 2, 3, 4, and then what? 5, and then look at the next guy here is going to be what? X is less than or less than 6. Is that okay? So x is less than 6, meaning that we are going to end on what? Less than 6, right? Okay, now perfect. Now, looking at the next one, so the question says that we should have the values of y union union w. Is that okay? So you are going to look for the values of y union union w. So the union means that we are going to combine everything together. So combining these two people together, we are going to start from what? Negative 2, right? So -2, -1, 0, 1, up to 5. Right? So that's what we are giving, up to 5. So we are combining all of them together. Okay. Now, what is going on here? So here you have we have what? -2, right? So from -2, -1, and then 0, 1, and then what? We are combining the two together, right? So we have a 2 here, and then we also have a 3, and then 4, as well as 5. Is that okay? So that is what the union. So based on the inequalities here, we are going to have okay, I have a message from here that says that some of the digits are not visible, right? So let's try and fix that now. So I don't know if you're okay. Let me hear from you if the digits are what are visible now, right? So let's see. If you are not okay, let me know. Let me know from the comment section, right? Okay, perfect. If you know if the digits are not visible, let me know, right? So let me know from the comment section so that I can know how best I'll face on this issue. Is that okay? Right? Okay, so perfect. Now the next question. So let's see the next question. So solving the next question here, we have what we have on our list. This question, I think those of you on the platform have already solved this question, right? So the question 3 that says that you should find the values of the n, right? So you are going to find the values of the n from the given set inequality. So the inequalities here. Oh, okay. I see the reflections of the light. Yeah, sure. Let me pull that thing off, right? So let me take that thing off here. Okay. So the light, right? So I think I don't know if it does it from my. Today I'm using the phone, right? So I'm using the phone to do that, or maybe I should put off the other light to see if how best we can see that. All right, so thank you for that comment. Is that okay? So let me try and put that light off and then come back and come and do that for you. So just a moment, right? So a moment here. I don't think this one will be okay. So let's use another one. So you may forgive us. So this is the first time we are holding the live stream. Is that okay? So we try and fix any problem that we are facing. So we are hoping that our next live video will be clear and everything will be what on point, right? I don't know if you are still facing some more. The light is. Let me see if I can cover that shadow here. What about this? If this is okay, let me know, right? So I don't know if this is okay. So let me hear from you in the comment section, right? Okay, so perfect. Now let's solve the last questions of the inequality. I've already solved that question in the comment section, right? So maybe on our WhatsApp platform, I've already solved that. Now this is the question. This was the question. We are given the set P, right? So we are given the P to be something that goes this way, right? Okay, you are giving the P to be something that goes with n such that 10 is less than n and then less than 20, right? So where n is an integer, this n here is what an integer. If you don't understand something, try and just give me a message, right? So that I can see exactly where you are missing, and then I'll explain that in just some few seconds, right? And then we are told that q here is what a subset. So q is a subset, right? A subset. You know the meaning of a subset. A subset says that, meaning that if you're a subset of what p, so this p here is a subset of this q is a subset of p, meaning that p this Q is inside of the P. So if you are in a house, let's say you are the landlord, right? So if you are the landlord here and then you have a tenant in your house, so that tenant can be your what? Your subset. Is that okay? So this is the house here, right? So you have a tenant inside the house. So the tenant is inside of this room. So this tenant here is what, a subset of your house. So meaning that the tenant can be found in your house. So this is what we are giving, right? So this is what we are giving according to the question. And then the subset of the Q here. The Q here says that the elements of the Q here are going to be so right after this question we are going to solve the Venn diagram, so make sure that you stay here, right? So you have n starts that 55, that is less than what, 2n here, that is greater than or equal to 25. That is the question. This was what the question was given to us, right? Okay, so perfect. If you are given this and then we want to find the values of the n, that's what the question says. So find the values of the n here, because the n is involved in, without n we cannot find the members of these people. So the best way of doing these things is to make sure that you solve the inequality, right? So we are going to solve this inequality given to us from this part here. So we are having this inequality here. So solving this one, you have 55 minus 2n greater than or equal to 25, because we are looking for the values of the n. Let me hear from, I think the name is mine, right? So you have mine. Let me hear from you mine. If the question there you can see clearly from this point. I don't know if you're not okay, let me know. Is that okay? So maybe I'll put off the other light. So if this is okay for you, let me know. If this one is not okay, to let me know. Is that okay? So forgive us about this problem here. So solving this one, this is just similar to solving an equation. We all know how to solve the equation. So here it means that we are going to subtract 55 from both sides of the inequality here. So you have 55 here minus 55. So maybe the way we do that is to take this 55 to the other side of the equation. Maybe that should be something that you already know, right? So you have a negative 2n here. If you are confused, let me know. Try and ask questions, right? If you don't understand anything, let me know. Is that okay? So you have greater than or equal to we have here it's also 25 here. So here we are having 25 and then minus of 55. Why this minus 55 here? Well, that is a question to you, right? So why are we subtracting minus of 55 from the 25 here? Give me the answer to this thing in the comment section, right? So here we are having negative 2n, that is greater than or equal to this minus is going to give a negative 35. Oh, that should be 30, right? So here should be a 30. Is that okay? So what are we looking for? We are just looking for the values of the n here. So we are going to divide here by negative 2, and then you divide here by negative 2. Now here's the trick. Now under inequalities, right? So under inequalities, dividing something by a negative, once you divide by a negative, your sign has to change, right? So this sign is going to change here. Is that okay? So once we divide here by negative, you are having n greater than or equal to, right? So this guy tends to be so initially it was greater than or equal to, so here is going to be less than or equal to, so here we are going to have a 50, right? So this is how simple you solve this type of a problem. Okay, now you're having our n to be less than or equal to 15. So taking this n here into the q section here, right? So this is the q that we are having. So we had our n to be less than or equal to 15. So taking this n into this set here, you should have what the values of the n. Remember the question says that q here is a subset of the p, meaning that the q can be found in the p, right? So if you can be found, the maximum that the q can go, that should be somewhere maybe let's say 90 or something of that nature. And then if you are less than 15 and then you are in the q, then means that we are going to start from what, 11. Remember here the values of the p here, if you want to list these people here, that should be here n is greater than what, 10. So here we are going to have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So up to what, up to 19. Is that okay? So up to 19. Then the queue here is a subset of these people. So meaning that the queue can be found out of these people here. Is that okay? And then the maximum the queue can go. We can have what? Up to what? Up to what? Up to 15 here. Is that okay? So those are going to be the values of the key here. So here we have our key to be equal to the values of the key here. That is equal to 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15. With this inequality, don't hesitate to comment in the comment section below, right? So that we can help you more on this thing. Once again, forgive us for our first arrangement today. We are not well arranged for the live session, but we promise that our next or our upcoming live session will be great. Oh, okay. I'm happy to say that maybe I'm running a little bit fast, right? So which part? I don't know where if I should go over again, right? So let me know if you want me to go over again. Then I'll take my time to do this explanation properly. All right. Let me know. Let me know. Oh man, you are doing a great job. Is that okay? So let me know. Should I go over? Yeah, if yes, let me hear from you, right? So that I'll take my time and explain this simply for you to understand better. If you want me to go over, yeah, sure. Is it the same question? With the same question, right? If it's the same question or different question, just let me know. Is that okay? So let me know that. Okay, sure. This is what we are giving, right? So we are giving the set P here. So this is set P. Okay, set P that is equal to n 10. You have a less than n and then less than 20, right? So this is what we are giving, and then we are told that the people within this set here are just integers, right? So we can see that maybe you may have some rooms of a student, a room of a final year student, and so on and so forth, right? But this room here, the people within the room are what we are calling what n, right? So n is inside of this room, and then we are so that that n is for an integer. So n here is an integer. Do you have any question on the integer? Let me hear from you. If yes or no, try and chat me on that, right? So if you don't know the meaning of integer, just let me know so that I'll explain that for you. Okay. Now, and then the question further says that this Q here is what? A subset, right? You are a subset. A subset here. So the subset meaning that whoever is inside the Q here is a member of this P, right? So whoever is a member of it, that's just something simple. Let's say you are a landlord of this house, right? So this is a very beautiful house that I'm having here. You are the landlord. Is that okay? And then maybe you choose to rent this small portion here for someone, right? So this small portion here, your tenant lives in this room. So that tenant here is going to be your subset. Is that okay? So what it means here is that the tenant is part of your house, right? So that's the meaning of the subset. Now, if you say Q is a subset of the P, what it means here is that Q here is a member of this house. This is the entire house, right? So this is the entire house here. So Q here is the tenant. So the tenant of this house here. So meaning that anybody that can be found in the queue is also a member of that is the technical definition. Very simple and straightforward. Now, here's the condition. We have our n, so that's 55 here minus 2n greater than or equal to 25. Is that okay? These are the people inside the queue. right? Now the question says that we should find the values of the key, or we should find q. Finding q here means that we want to find all members that are inside the queue, right? So that is what something that we are looking for. All members, anybody that is a member of this room is what we are looking for. Is that okay? So for sure, anybody that will come out of this room must be a member of the entire set, right? This is just a key, right? So q is here, q is a tenant here, and then the whole thing is the p. So p is the landlord, right? So the whole question here is to solve this inequality and find the values of the n, right? So how can you determine the values of the n in this case? So determine the values of the n is something you need to solve the inequality here, right? So I don't know if you have a problem on solving this inequality. So maybe let's bring this thing out here. So solving this thing here means that if you have 2n minus 1 equal to 2, how do you solve this equation here? You solve this equation by, we are looking for the what, the values of the n here. So we want n to stand alone, meaning that n to stand alone means that n has to be, let's say, a landlord on one side of the equation. So this is the equal to sign separating everything here and this one here, right? So you have two people here, 1 2, and then before the equal sign, and after the equal sign you have only one person, and then we want the n, meaning that we want n should be the only person here, right? Or maybe on the other side, wherever it comes. So here you are before the equal to sign, so meaning that anybody that is attached to the n here must vanish. We are taking those people out of the house, right? So meaning that this negative one here has to vanish first. So that's the equal to, we are not doing anything to the equal to sign. So imagine this equal to sign, just a wall in between these two people, right? So you are jumping the wall here. So once you jump the wall, meaning that you are a thief, right? So you are a criminal. So your sign has to change it. So we have 2 already. 2 is here, and then here is going to be, let me use a red pen, so we have a 2, and then once we jump here, we are going to tend to be a positive one. Is that okay? So where are we heading to? Let's add these two people here. So we have 2 and that is going to equal to 3. Remember the question said I should find the values of the n. So we are going to divide here by 2 and then divide here by 2. So meaning that here we cancel, and then we have a n is equal to 3 on 2, right? Okay, perfect. So that is the idea, the way of solving the equation here is what we are going to use to solve this inequality, right? So very simple and straightforward. Once again, let me hear from you in the comment section. If you are okay, fine, let me know that you are okay. If you are not okay, just say that okay, then I'll go over again, right? Okay, now let's solve the inequality. Why are we solving the inequality? So we are solving this inequality to make sure that we find the values of the n, right? So we have the 55 minus 2n greater than or equal to 25, right? So 25, what are we going to do? Once again, we want the n to stand alone here, so this guy here must vanish. Don't push yourself and make sure that you are taking this guy. This is far from this room here, right? So make sure that this guy goes first. So we are going to leave it all negative for 2n greater than or equal to 25 here. So once you jump the wall here, your sign here has to change, right? So here was what, a positive 55. So here we are going to tend to be a negative 55. I don't know which criminal came for my pen. So all my pens are finished. I don't know who did that. Let me check. If this is okay. Okay, maybe let me use this one. So here we are having what, minus of 55, right? So minus 55. The mistake I see student doing here is that this guy is already there before you are coming. So if you go to someone's house, the person has to give you a check. So you cannot come and remove this 25 from here. And here's the mistake. Some people do it like this. Let's say they'll come and write negative 55 and then plus 25, even though this is correct. But if here was negative, you are going to have it wrong. So what I'm trying to say here is that make sure that you stay at where you are before the other guys join. Is that okay? Right? Okay, so perfect. So here, this is what we had. So we know how to solve this. We had negative n greater than or equal to, so here is going to be negative 30, right? Okay, so from here we know how to solve this. So we are going to divide here by negative 2 and then divide here by negative 2. So once you divide by negative 2 under inequality, this is for inequality, if you are dividing by negative 2, this sign here change. This is a law. The law says that if you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, and then before you go for breakfast and so on, even though some people go the other way around, but that is by nature. So the law here is saying that whatever you are dividing by negative number, and then this sign has to change. So once we did that, this negative 2 cancel the negative 2, we had our n here, right? So we had our n to be this pen, our n now is going to be less than or equal to this guy divided by that. That should be less than 1. Maybe because of my fan, maybe the air conditioner. That's why my pen is not floating. Right? So here you had our n to be what? Negative 4. No. You had a negative 15, right? So n is equal to 15. Okay, where is this n coming from? N is a member of this k, right? So n here is what? Is what? 15, right? So remember, q here is a member of what? The p. So q can be found in the p. So everybody in this house, this is what we are giving, right? So we are told that this n here is greater than what? Greater than 10, and then less than what? 20, right? I don't know if you're okay on how to read this thing. If you're not okay, bro, my pen. Hmm. Acquire bread. A brand of us run. Maybe I got to win. We yet TV, baby, I yet to prepare. Answer no video. Right. Now maybe she out bookshop. Anyway, say there is serious on that too. I call it discovered. Yeah, I could find it. What's it light? Yeah. Black. Yeah, sorry for that, right? So maybe I'm out of pen. So once I have the pen here, maybe I think that should give you some idea on how to solve these inequalities. Okay. Okay, perfect. If these people, it has to be less than or equal to 15. This is what we are having, right? So this is what we are having. N is less than or equal to 15. If you are less than or equal to 15 years, can you tell me the ages? I think from 1 up to 15, right? So from 1 up to 15. But remember, people that are in the house here, the universal house, the entire house here, are greater than what? 10. So meaning that they are going to start from what? 11. 11, and then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then what? 19. Look at something. We are ending at what? 19, right? So you are ending. These are the people inside the entire house, and then you are part of these people. If you are part of these people, then it means that you cannot go beyond it. If you go beyond these people, then it means maybe you are a ghost, right? So you cannot go beyond these people. These are the people, and then you are part of. You have one room out of all the entire house here. Is that okay? So now, and then the question here, after solving this inequality, we had the n to be less than or equal to 15. Then you cannot go beyond 15. So we are going to start from what? 11, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right, you cannot go beyond it. Once you are going to end at this point. So meaning that the values of the q here are just for people. So we have our q to be equal to people that are 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15, right? So 14 and then 15. So these are the peoples of the queue, right? You cannot go and start. Don't go and start a key here from what? From what? 1, because here after solving this, we had the inequality to be less than or equal to 15, right? You cannot do that because the people here are starting from what? 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14, so on and so forth. Is that okay? These are the people, and then you people are up to, maybe in your room, you are the owners of that key room here. You are up to 15 years, right? So up to 15 years. So these are the people that are falling within the queue. I don't know if you are okay with this inequality. One second. Let me hear from you. If you are a little bit okay, let me hear from the comment section before we proceed to the three set problem, right? If you still have issues, I will use a different strategy to explain this. And but then make sure that you are trying your hands on the question, right? So you have some pencil and a paper. The more you try and make mistakes, and then the more you can correct yourself, and then you know more, right? So if you don't try, there's no way you can become perfect or in solving questions so like this. So let me hear from you once again. Can we proceed? Okay, perfect. So the next one is that we are going to solve a Venn diagram, right? So solving a Venn diagram. So the Venn diagram that you are going to solve here, this with a three sets of problems. So three sets of problems. Oh my, are you okay now? Oh my, I don't know if you get that correct. Oh my. Can we move on? Okay, so perfect. I don't. Let me hear that question again. You say the n. Okay, let me check. Let me check your question here. Okay, the n and the. Oh, okay. Yeah. So perfect. Let me quickly explain that for you. So if you are giving a set that goes like this, so we have that. Let's say n, right? This is how we read this. And let's say 1 is less than n. Let's say less than 5, something like this. The way to read this thing, I like the way you are asking questions. Is okay. Make sure that you ask more if you want to know more, right? So you don't pay for anything for asking questions, and then nobody will prescribe to you for also asking questions. So ask questions to know more, right? So thumbs up for that. Now, what it means here is that don't let this mathematical notation confuses you all the time, right? Don't let this thing confuse you all the time. So what it means here is that people within this house here, I normally call it a house if you are someone who follows for some time. So this is a set, right? So I normally call it a house. So people within this house here are n, right? So just ignore these people, right? So people within the house here are n. By name they are n. They are human beings by name n. They are Mango, they are Product, they are iPhones, they are Samsung, they are Infinix, right? So but for this particular one, it is called n. But n here, not just all n with what? A condition. So the condition here is saying that here you cannot be less than 1. So here you say that n is greater than 1. So people within this set here are greater than a year old, right? So if you are part of this house here, you must be greater than 1 year, and then you must not go beyond 5 years. Is that okay? So always whatever comes here are the people within the set, right? So are the people within the set here, but with a condition. It's not everybody, right? So the condition follows. So here, this is how we read this. And so that, right? If you say buy me a phone, which type of phone? So I can say that buy me a pen, or maybe a marker here, this marker here. But I'm not saying you should buy me any marker. A marker with a condition. So this is the condition. So let's say this n here is this marker. By which type of marker? A blue marker, a blue whiteboard marker. So these are the conditions that follow, right? So you must know the condition for you to determine the people that must be in this set for sure. So you must know the condition for you to know the people that will fall within this house here, right? So the condition says that n is greater than 1. So if you are greater than 1, meaning that you are starting from 2 and then 3, 4, you must hold on. If this is a double inequality, so n here is going to be less than what? Less than 5. Obviously that 5 is not part, right? Because the condition says that you must be less than 5. So if you want to be part of this house here, maybe if you want to be part of this class here, you must be greater than 1 year old, and then you must be less than what? 4 years old. Bago pa natin. Hey,
Black.
I'm like good too. Right? So is that okay? So that is there's the condition. Right? So this is the condition. So people within this house here are 2 years, 3 years, and then 4 years. So that is how simple you read this. Alright, so that is the condition. Omai, are you okay? Omai, Omai. If you're not okay, let me go back here. I can see that you say yes, but if you're not okay, for sure, are you 100% okay? If you're okay, make sure that you try some of the inequalities. Maybe I'll post some of the questions into the group, right? Okay, I think one person just joined the class again, so guys, you're welcome, right? Okay, perfect. So now you can move on to the event diagram. Any question before we proceed, right? So because there's no time. And there's a proverb that goes that a lost time can never be gained. So once you lost this time, I don't think you can gain another time again. So make sure that you understand everything before you proceed. As I tell you, Makamami. Ala when you come school prefect ben kwarani. Chimney. So the next question here is what? Event diagram, right? So event diagram. I don't know if you have another question relating to a set again before we start with the Venn diagram. Any question? Yes or no? Or we can continue with the Venn diagram. So this Venn diagram is going to solely based on what a 3 set, right? So a 3 set. 3 set. Let me change the pen and then any question, maybe I should hold on for some seconds if you have a question. Any question? The school prefect is doing the work. I have a very nice school prefect around me, so don't worry about that, right? Okay, so Venn diagram. Before you even start tackling the question, we all know the structure for a 3 set Venn diagram, right? So this is how it goes. Yeah, so I have a very nice pen. So Charlie, big ups to the school prefect. So so let's say this is the Venn diagram, right? This is the Venn diagram for sure. We all know that that is what the universal set. These are some of the things you've already seen before. So way back on the platform there, what I normally say is maybe you own this apartment. So let me represent you. You watch me right now by this one, right? So you own this apartment. Let's say your father owns this apartment and your mom also owns this apartment, right? So I'm calling it this apartment because I want you to understand perfectly. So this is your apartment. Is that okay? So let's say the whole thing, everything is just a state, right? So maybe you guys are living in a state, a very nice state here. So within the state, there are different apartments. So here within that state here, you just have a 3 different apartments. Now within your apartment, maybe I think you should answer this question. How many rooms are in your apartment? So what I'm calling the rooms here is this one, this one, this one, and then this one here. So how many rooms are here in your apartment? Try and give me the comments. So let's say this is one room here, and this is another room, right? And then this is also another room, and then this is also another room. So how many rooms are in your apartment here? So someone should answer that question for me before we proceed quickly, right? So waiting for the answer to this question here. So try and give me the answer in the comment section, right? Okay. So this is your apartment. So this is also your father's apartment, and then this is also your mother's apartment, right? So once you're able to identify the number of rooms in your apartment, the same applies to your father's apartment, and then as well so your mother's apartment. Okay, so perfect. How many rooms are here? How many rooms are in your apartment? I don't know if you are getting the concept here. So this is one apartment. This circle, one circle here is for just one apartment, right? Circle like this is what I'm calling what one apartment. So when I bring this is all your apartment, so this is the structure for your apartment, room number 4, right? So 4 different rooms are within your apartment. The key here is that you must know. Okay, so this is your apartment. So room number 1 here, you are the only person that can sleep in this room here, right? You are the only person. You watching me right now. This is your apartment. You are the only person that can sleep in this room. What about room number 2 here? So room number 2 here, you can sleep here. You watching me right now, you can sleep in this room, or your father, right? So you are connecting with your father, so or maybe your father can also sleep in this room, right? So the same scenario goes to the other part of for sure. We all know this portion here that all of you can decide to sleep in this. Yes, for sure. Yeah, so congrats, Charlie. You are comfortable now. Great. Fine. Okay. Now for this in the intersection here, the 3 parts here, we all know that all of you can decide to sleep in this room here, right? So let me indicate that by another pen, right? So here, this room here with the red portion here, you can decide to sleep in this room, and then maybe your father can also decided to sleep here, or maybe your mom can also decided to sleep in this particular room, right? So that is a very something simple. So what about here? I think who just joined the class here, make sure that you are participating, right? So just there are no wrong or correct answers here. So just say anything that you know. If you are wrong, then you correct you and then you move on, right? So feel free. Okay, now here you have what your father's apartment and your mom's apartment. So this room here is only your father and your mother can sleep in this room here. Now the mistake that students normally do in solving the three set problem is that when they are solving something like this, all that they do here is they normally what choose to forget. They normally make a mistake relating to what this 3 portion, right? So this 3 portion here, is that okay? This 3 portion here. So I think let me try and see if I can get a different pen here. So here, and then here, right? So those are the main uh, 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 problems that the students normally face in solving a three set. I think you are okay with this, and maybe something like this one. You know how to represent this information somewhat. The most important thing is how to represent everything on the Venn diagram. Then you proceed, right? So now there are 2 ways. I guess you should write this thing some way. So 2 ways of solving this. So here are the 2 steps here, right? So 2 steps in solving this portion, this portion, these 3 portions here, right? So these 3 portions, there are 2 ways of tackling that, right? So one, if the question says that okay, 5 people sleep in this room, right? So maybe I guess I should name the rooms here so that you can see. Let's say, so let's name this room here to be room uh, uh, so this is a room 1, so room 2, room 3. Let's say here is going to be room 4, and then here should be room 5, room 6, and then room 7, and then finally room 8, right? So now talking about room 2, 4, and then 6 here, right? So room 2 here, room 2, room 4, and then room 6, there are 2 ways of representing all the information given to you. Is that okay? Now, talking about the room 2 here, so there are 2 ways. So the first one is that I guess you should have a pen and a pencil down to jot down these things. Now, if the question says that, okay, maybe you are comfortable. Okay, so perfect, and then 4. So I'm not getting the 4. What do you mean by 4? Is it room 4? Are you talking about room 4 or maybe which question? So let me know once again. Is it room 4? So what do you mean by 4? Let me hear that. So 4, I'm comfortable now. Okay. Okay, what do you mean by 4? So let me know the meaning of the 4 so that I can quickly explain loss. What do you mean by 4? Are you okay with the room 2, 4, and a 6? Right? Do you know how to represent all the information on the room 2, room 4, and then room 6? If you are okay, we can proceed. So let me hear from you once again, right? So are you okay? Are you okay with these three rooms? Room 2, room 4, and then room 6. How to represent the information on those rooms there, right? So let me hear from you quickly before we continue. If you are okay, just let me know that you are okay, and then we proceed, right? Are you okay? Amaya, can we continue? So if you can continue, then let's proceed, right? Okay, so here's a very nice question here. So along the road, if you have any problem, let me know, right? So if you have any questions, and then let me know from that. Now, do you have the question that says that out of 40 customers in a shop, right? So if you have a question, let me hear from you, yes or no. If you have that question from the platform, out of what? 40 customers in a shop, 25 bought plantain and 16 bought yam, and then 21 bought corn. So let me know if you have that question, right? If you don't have the question too, then let's see how to go about that question. Do you have it? Can we continue? Okay, so out of what? So this is straightforward, but before you can start, make sure that you write everything down, right? So you can say that maybe this is the solution to that problem there, right? So this is what I'm trying to lay emphasis on. Before you start solving the question, you have to make sure that you write all the information given to you. So the first one, you read a sentence by what? A sentence. I hope you know how to do all these things already, or maybe I should go over again. So you are going to say that the universal, or maybe 40 customers visit of a shop. Maybe any English is accepted, provided that it is the correct English, right? So if you don't want to go by the mathematical definitions, you can even write about maybe 40 customers visited a shop here, and then you can say that 25 or 25 bought plantain, right? So 25 bought plantain, right? So 25 for bought a plantain, and then we also have 16 bottle the bottle yam, right? Don't do this thing in an exam. Just make sure that you write everything clearly. So this is how you have to make sure you represent all the information before you even starting solving all the problems, right? So now quickly let's draw the Venn diagram. Amanda, do you have any specific questions on a Venn diagram? So let me know if you have any problem with any part of the Venn diagram. Let me know, right? Okay. This is the Venn diagram. This is our Venn diagram. Okay. So maybe you should have yours as well. Now this is a very nice and then simple Venn diagram. Okay, which part? Which part? Or maybe I should solve everything for you. Should I solve everything? Okay, now let's demonstrate the idea here. So this is what we are doing, right? So I hope you don't have any question relating to the first part. You have to list, or this is just a repetition, right? So you are repeating all the questions, everything being given to you. You just have to repeat everything before you draw your Venn diagram, right? So these are the informations that we are going to use to represent everything on the Venn diagram. That's also why earlier on I took my time to explain everything at the beginning here, using those rooms and so on and so forth, right? So you must understand the concepts here before you start solving the people. Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we mean the 4 rooms, so room number 4. So let's say, according to the question, the room number 4 was here, right? So don't worry, let's demonstrate that by this question here. So if you are not okay, once again, just let me know. So we know that from that question, out of the 40 customers in the shop, right? So that 40 here goes toward the universal, right? So meaning that maybe if you want to use our case here, so you know that we have 40 people in the entire estate, right? So here they are the 40 people visitors or in that shop, right? So the first one says that 25 bought plantain. So we are using the initials here. We know this thing, right? So plantain P, that's the equal 25 here. And then you also, I should use a different marker so that you can understand clearly. But today, just forgive us. It's okay. Now we have a plantain for 25, and then 16 also bought yam. I guess if you are here, you already have the question. So yam here, that's equal to 16, right? So yam is equal to 16, and then we also have you have the last one is going to be, is it a cocoa, right? Corn, right? So you have 21 bottle corn. So corn here, that is equal to 21. So we just need to see this thing to be like one room here. This room here contains of people who like enjoying what plantain, right? So this room here, how many rooms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then this one also like for people who like enjoy what yam, and then this is also for those who like enjoy what corn, right? So maybe a corn. Yeah, that's what I'm having here. So a corn here, right? So if you have that question, so perfect. Now, oh, no problem. We will try and fix that. Is that okay? So we try and fix that, right? So for those of you who are having a connection problem, don't worry. If you are on maybe a network, make sure that you have a very, or maybe you search for the best way to have a very simple data band. Maybe we will discuss that in the group and then later on, right? So that you see how best we can fix that. Okay. Now, if these are the informations that your first step here is to make sure that you are representing the intersection. So the intersection here, what I mean by the intersection here, the 3 intersections. So everybody that is doing all the 3, right? So that is one thing you have to focus on, right? So you have to read everything to the end of the question. You go straight and look for what the intersection. So this is the intersection that we are having. So the intersection, is it given to you in the question? If it is not given, you know what to do, right? So mathematician, we use a variable to represent something that we don't know. So this is all we are going to use x. X is the notorious letter that mathematicians normally use, right? So the x here from the question, we are not given a 3 intersection. Is that okay? We are not given a 3 intersection because that was one of the question I that says that how many customers bought all the 3 items. So this is where they belongs to, right? So this is their room. You have to represent that. Maybe if some of you have already seen these things or already, right? The most important thing here is to know how to solve by just some small practice, right? Okay, now let's go back to the question. So that is your first step. So after representing this, you should look for the intersection. If it is given to you, put the number there. If it is not given to you, you represent that by what? A variable, right? Okay, perfect. Now let's get back to the question. And then we also told that we are told that at least everyone bought something, right? So everyone attended that shop, bought something, and then we have 8. This is what I'm saying. So 8 bought both plantain and yam. So pay close attention to this portion here. So we have 8 bought what? 8 bought both plantain and what? And yam. So 8 people were bought what? Plantain, right? So plantain and what? And yam, right? 8 people bought plantain and yam. The question you should ask yourself is that where are these 8 people going to be on my this Venn diagram here, right? So where are they going to be here? Which room did they belong to? So 8 people bought plantain and yam. So maybe I should pose this question to you here. According to our Venn diagram, the first one here, we have something that goes like this. Let me draw this thing nice. Maybe they belong to here, right? We all know that this is the plantain and then this is the yam. So yeah, so the question says that 8 people bought of plantain and yam, then they are going to be this portion. Now the next question is, are all these 8 people going to be here, or you need to subtract, right? So that is the question. Should I put all the 8 people here, or I should subtract? Subtract or no subtract? Let me hear from the comment section below, right? Should I subtract or no subtract? If you have idea, no wrong or correct answer, is okay, just say anything, right? So the 8 people bought of plantain and yam. We know this is the portions of the plantain, this is the yam. So if you are buying the two, you should belong. This is your room, this is where you are supposed to be, right? So this is where you are supposed to be. Okay, perfect. Should I put all the 8 here or not? That is my question to you. I think our mine is having a bad connection here. Don't worry about that. Should I? Now, here's the trick, right? So here, because of a time sake, so here's the trick here. So next time you make sure that you pay close. You are going to do this portion, then this portion, right? Okay. So anytime the question says that maybe a number, so for instance, using this example, we are told that 8 people bought plantain and yam. Without adding the word only, you must subtract the intersection, right? You are going to subtract this intersection because these people here already bought all the 3 items, right? So if 8 people bought the plantain and yam, then it means that these people are apart. But remember, here's a trick. Now, if you are reading a sentence, so according to this one, they say that 8 bought both what plantain and yam, right? So open like that. What I mean by open, we didn't see the word only, right? There's the word. We didn't see this word attached to the sentence. You always must subtract. Does it make sense? If it makes sense, let me hear from you, right? Is that okay? So 8 minus the intersection. So if the question didn't add the word only to this one, right? You must subtract. You must subtract the intersection. Whatever the number is here, we are going to subtract that from this. Because from that, we didn't see any word only there, right? So let's use the next one so that for you to understand. And what? Let's say 11 bought plantain and what? And corn, right? 11 bought of plantain. This is a plantain, right? So plantain, maybe you have a plantain and what? And corn, right? So 11 bought plantain and corn. Have you seen that we didn't see any word only attached to this? Once that word only didn't come, you are going to subtract the intersection, right? So where the first thing is that you must know where they belong to. So plantain and corn. So this is what they are portion, right? So plantain and corn. So they are here. So 11. That is what the question says. But the question didn't add the word only. So meaning that this room here, only people that bought or plantain and corn are supposed to be here. But here's the question. You didn't add the word only to that. Once the sentence didn't add the word only to that, you must subtract what? The intersection. If it is only, then you are not going to subtract the intersection. That is therefore another question. I hope I have that question on the platform. So try and do that. Right. So those are the 2 tricks that you must obey. And then finally we have the last one says and what corn. So 6 bought yam and corn, right? So 6 bought yam and corn. So yam and corn. So 6, right? So have you seen that we didn't see the word only attached to the portion, right? So we are going to subtract the intersection because we didn't see the word only. We know that this room here is for yam and corn only. But why is it I didn't add the word only? If you didn't add the word only, then you must subtract the intersection here from all these people, right? Okay. Now, here's one thing again you must pay a very close attention to. So once you're able to represent all the informations on the Venn diagram, so here's one thing you must have. You see that this people here is blank. This is blank. This is also blank. You are not going to leave anything blank in this case. If you are able to convey all the information to Venn diagram, then these people are open, or maybe here. What I mean by open, that you didn't have any number to put in this portion, or maybe any other portion. You know what mathematics does. You just use a variable to represent that thing. So you make sure that you fill in all the spaces, right? So here you have A, B, and then C. So the advice here is that you are going to use a letter that you haven't used already, right? So I will say that this letter here, I didn't use them anywhere here, right? So the only letters that you can see is X here. So here we are going to use A, B, and then C. So to make sure that you fill in all the spaces, right? So once you fill in all the spaces from our idea of a set, when I sum everything together, I add all this room here. This is one room, this is second room, this is the third room, this is the fourth room. Everything here is going to be equal to 25, right? So everything here, 1, 2, 3, 4 is also going to be a 16, and then everything here, 1, 2, 3, 4 is also going to be a 21. Is that okay? So based on what you are looking for, right? So now your first step here is to make sure that you look for these people, this guy here. How many people bought only plantain? So this is their room. So you have to enter this room and count the number of people who bought only plantain in this case, right? So how do you do that? Let's say let me give you the clue here. I don't know if you have any question. If you are enjoying it, just give me a thumbs up, right? So give me a thumbs up to see. So let's say you people, let's say in your class or maybe in your house, you are just six in the room, right? So if you are six in the room, and then a stranger just entered and say, how many people are in this room? You guys are six. Then maybe after counting, it's only 5 people that are available, right? It's only 5 people that are available. For sure, that's just 6 minus 5. That is equal to 1. So this guy is just missing, right? So it's just missing. What I'm trying to say here is that if the question says that 25 people are living in the 4 rooms, right? So the 4 rooms, I know this. Let's say this, and this are available. You want to find this one. What do? You just subtract these people from the 25 and find this, right? So this is what I'm trying to say here. You must don't let the variable confuse you. Is that okay? Don't let this, just ignore the variable. Close one of your eyes on this thing, right? And then move on. So here we have for P, right? So for P, you have P, that is equal to 25. Everything is equal to 25, right? So 25, the plantain here, that's the 25, that is equal to everything here, right? How many rooms does the plantain have? Plantain has 4 different rooms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the A, right? So A is the first person here. That's the first room. And then plus 8 minus X, right? So this room here, yeah, can you see this room? And then plus this one, plus X, and then plus 11 minus minus X, right? So perfect. 11 minus, who are we looking for? We are looking for this room here, right? So looking for this room here. So what are we going to do? We just need to add all these people and subtract it from the 25, right? So that's it. You're going to do 25. That is equal to, we already have our A here. So this is A, right? So let's add all these people. So you can see that this is just a negative S plus S here. You see, I can see the X here, meaning that there's 1 here, 1 here. So negative 1 plus 1, that is equal to 0. If you're having $1 or maybe 1 cedi plus another 1 cedi, negative, right? So this negative means that you are owing. So owing here, you add this two to that. That should just be equal to 0. That's why we say this one and this one, they'll cancel out, right? So the negative and the positive are cancel out, right? 1 cedi, yeah, you go and pay 1 cedi. Then you don't have anything. So $1 and go and pay $1. You don't have anything. So equivalent in any currency, right? Okay, so here we are left with we are just going to the positive 8 and then plus plus 11 and then minus x. So you add these two people, that is 25, that is equal to a. Remember what we are looking for, right? So we are looking for this a, right? So that room here, how many people bought only what 90? So this is just be plus or plus 90 and then minus minus x, right? So minus x here, then we are going to have, so what are we are looking for this guy. So make sure that this guy stays here, right? So don't force yourself and move this guy out of its house here, right? So we have this a here. So why don't you move everything here to the other side of the question? So that's a 25. So you must go. Remember, if it's a positive here, you are going to tend to be a negative. So minus 19. This guy also follows. So and then plus or x, right? So everything is equal to. So once again, the mistake that students normally do here is that they always force themselves to make sure that the a is here. But the meaning of the equal to tells me that everything that is before the equal to sign is the same as something that is after the equal to. If I say 2 is equal to 2, meaning that irrespective of how I arrange it, they are still the same, right? If they are still the same, then there's no need for me to force yourself and come before or maybe after, right? So here is going to be 6 and then plus x, that is equal to equal to. If you want to rearrange it, you can do that. So you can say that a is equal to 6 and then plus or plus s. So this is for one portion here, right? So one portion on what, on our Venn diagram. Is that okay? So now that we are okay with this room, you are going to do the same thing for the b, right? So you are going to do the same thing for the b. So you add this, and this, and then you go to this one, right? Yeah, that is perfect. But which one should I go over again? Which part here? Which part here? Okay. Now, if I want to go, I mean, I can go over this portion, right? So I can go over this portion here, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that, uh, let's say the rooms are 4, right? Is that okay? So let me use just one point to explain here. The rooms are 4. How many rooms are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rooms, right? So 4 rooms are there. So if the rooms are 4, the first person it is 2, 2. Maybe let's say 2 plus or 1 plus or plus 3. And then let's say plus 8. But we know that the entire rooms here, you people are 10. So how many people are there? 10. Maybe let's say the first person has just 2 cedis or maybe $2. Yeah, this guy is having $1, and then this guy is having what, $3 or maybe 3 cedis, something of that nature. But we know that all of you, if you add all of you your money, you should have 10, right? So maybe 10 cedis or maybe $10. Is that okay? Now the last person here, which is the a here, because you don't know the amount that he or she is holding, right? So he or she is holding, we don't know that. So what are we are going to do there? But we know the 3 of you. We are just going to add all the 3 of you and then we subtract. So here this is just going to be 6 and then plus 8, that is equal to 10, because you know that whatever we are having, if we add that to the 6, we should have the $10 or maybe 10 cedis. So how can we determine that? So with the mathematics, we are going to subtract this 6 from here and then subtract 6 from here, or maybe you can take this side to the other equation, whichever you want to solve it. So a is going to be 6 minus 1, that is equal to 4. So this tells me about the fourth person here is holding what, 4 cedis or maybe $4. Is that okay? So that is the idea we are sending on to the Venn diagram, right? So since this guy, we are not giving this guy here, but we know that if you add whoever is here, whoever is here, whoever is here, and then add this one to it, everything must be equal to 25, right? So 25 here, this guy is missing. Is that okay? If you are missing, we just need to add this, and then this one, that is equal to 25. So the same idea. This is how simple I solve this method. The only thing that confuses here is here this portion here, right? So how to cancel out these two people.